and welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara Breen. Joining me this week are Ed Gamble, Tiff Stevenson and Rob Beckett, Ramesh Ranganathan, Hugh Dennis and Milton Jones. We start with a round called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topical image and ask them to tell me what's happening. So what is going on here?
Is it celebrity first dates?
Is this what happens when you swipe right on Tinder without looking properly?
I suspect that she is thinking, don't call him Dobby.
Is he saying, listen, gorgeous, hey, gorgeous, I met this chick in Kiev.
This was actually taken at Euro 2016, and just after the photo, she hit him with a chair. Remember that, guys, 2 months ago, the old fight?
Topical comedy.
They're both thinking, OK, last night was a mistake.
I reckon he just said to her, girl, are you a beaver? 'Cause damn!
As the photographer said, OK, now act like you stayed together for the children.
I'll tell you what this reminds me of. It reminds me of my parents confronting me suddenly and my dad confiscating my windsurf and hiding it behind his chair until I ate all the cauliflower.
It's difficult to know what length to do your tie, isn't it? Because I imagine standing up, that's okay. Sitting down, that's a proper ball tickler, that one, isn't it?
Does anyone have the correct answer?
It's, I think it's the G20, isn't it, in China, weirdly, but she met Putin when she was there.
That's absolutely fine. Thank you very much, you. Very good. Yes, there's a picture of Theresa May and Vladimir Putin at the G20 summit in Hangzhou in China earlier this week. What were the British delegates warned about at the summit?
Ooh, honey traps.
A lot of honey traps going on.
What I want to know is how arrogant you have to be as one of these politicians to think you have genuinely pulled within hours of landing. Do you know what I mean? Just like, don't worry, I'm not going to get done by any honey traps. I'm spending the night with this hot bird.
That's why it's good having a woman in charge, though, because Teresa's not going to fall for that. Like, we're instantly suspicious when someone wants to be friends with us out of the blue. It's like, what are you after? My job? My boyfriend? I'll kill you.
They think, don't they? They think that there's surveillance in all the rooms. They're being warned against. Okay, imagine living a life where you're just watched and listened to.
It's so obvious, though, isn't it? Like, this has happened in every Bond film. I don't know how they're falling for it. It would only be more obvious if the spy was called Ivana Sakyadong.
But Ivana, why do you keep interrupting our lovemaking to go 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2? It's not sexy at all, Ivana. How did the G20 go anyway?
Oh, the old G20? Oh, I can't stop listening about the old G20.
It's your favourite rap group, isn't it, Rob?
I love them. I liked them when they were G4. I've followed them all the way.
Are you finding this like a possibly a dry or dull subject, are you? Are you finding this a dry or dull subject?
Everyone bangs on about the G20. It's been going since 2008. I've got older things on my Sky Plus. It's not a big deal.
We have to cover these things. A week ago, I had fighting robots to talk to. This is not where I expected to be either, right?
We know you really want to be back there when you start referring to Hugh as the last remaining house robot.
If one of you flips him midway through the show, and Hugh is have to mobilise, unable to correct himself, querying furiously.
Throw him in the pit.
Sorry, you were saying?
It has been quite...
Sorry, Sir Kill-a-Lot.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
The G20 has been quite difficult for Theresa May, hasn't it? Because it's her first sort of outing on the international stage, and she's had lots of awkward conversations, not least with the Chinese president, because she has to keep resisting saying 27 golds. How did you do that?
Yes, the Chinese president whose name is?
Xi Jinping?
Xi Jinping. Very good. Yes, Xi Jinping.
Apparently his father made the mistake of christening him in the same room as a microwave.
if all the rooms are getting bugged and they're listening in, we should try and make the most of it then, because obviously it's stressful for us, so we should try and, like, divert the attention so that Theresa May could be in the hotel room going, oh, my God, I can't believe Barack Obama's going to invade Hong Kong.
You can start making requests as well, like saying things like, oh, I'd definitely say yes to Hinckley if there's Nando's for lunch.
Apparently the Chinese are desperate not to look as if they're spying, which is why it's now called Beijing instead of Peking.
By the way, how's this trip for everyone else? How's Obama's there? Did he have a good time?
Well, the Philippine president described him as a son of a whore.
Yes. That's really taking your mum to a new level.
The Philippine president has got a history of doing that. So he called Obama a son of a whore. Apparently he called Pope Francis a son of a whore, and a US ambassador a son of a whore. I'm starting to think his translator's just winging it. It's just something, son of a whore.
I don't know. He's hammered. He's drunk.
I just sort of think Obama... Are we that bothered that Obama's getting snubbed? I mean, he's on his way out anyway. He's been having a bloody holiday for the last... He's not really doing anything, is he? He's dicking around, like, doing little comedy bits, like slamming Donald Trump, trying to make us forget that he authorised the drone strikes. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I might be too happy, but I think you might not be happy enough, Ramesh.
Listen...
Well, there, Obama. Ramesh is keeping an eye on you, so you better do some stuff.
He has told us that we can't expect a trade deal with America. Is one of the things he's done, isn't he?
Yeah.
He said if we try to after Brexit, if we try and organise a trade deal with the US, we are at the back of the queue because he's got to do one with China and the EU.
I mean, there you go. He's trying to explain queuing to Britain. Do you know what I mean?
This is exactly it. This is exactly it. You think, relative to them, what we want in a trade deal is very, very small. So there should be a different queue, isn't there? There should be like five items or less queue.
Please, I want to bring some sense to this by having a sober, normal discussion with a serious news story. Right. Which Labour MP would you turn to if you wanted to buy a washing machine this time?
Hey! Keith Vaz, yes.
Why is Keith Vaz in the news this week?
Well, it's because he was with some male escorts and he lied to protect his identity. He said that he was a washing machine salesman. He didn't mention a brand, but he did say there would be a heavy load.
Yeah. Apparently he's the first person to complete Grindr.
I didn't know it was like Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh, look, there's a gay man there. He's there.
Collect them all.
Fling me Pokeballs at the gay man.
I need more Pokeballs and find some more Pokeballs.
It's a tricky one, isn't it? Because he's used these two male prostitutes, and yet he was the chairman of the Coleman's Home Affairs Select Committee, wasn't he, which was looking at prostitution changes. So he's either this hypocrisy and a terrible thing has happened, or he's one of the few MPs who actually knows what the hell he's talking about.
I feel sorry for him because he is somebody that's actually gone out of his way. He's obviously a heterosexual man, married with kids, and he's, despite that, for the purposes of research, he has gone and slept with male prostitutes in order to demonstrate his commitment to finding out exactly what it's all about. And also, people ignoring how difficult it is to have sex full stop when your name is Keith. I mean, it's almost impossible.
He's got a method. He's like Daniel Day-Lewis.
Washing machine salesman. I mean, it's typical Labour. Spin, spin, spin.
It was Romanians, wasn't it, the sex workers?
Eastern European Americans.
I mean, the story gets better and better because he is one of the people that went to the airport to welcome the Romanian immigrants arriving in this country a while ago. And that seemed nice at the time. But it now feels like the most sinister thing I've ever heard. Welcome to our country.
In his calendar, he had that written down as Your clothes look dirty. I've got something for you.
Washy, washy, dirty boy.
And like one of them said that they hadn't tried poppers, and then he tried to sell poppers instead of just going, oh, it's 5 seconds of ooh, followed by an hour and a half of ah.
Don't you have to pick it all up?
Yes. Yes, it's very messy.
This is what game man. I have to wonder what it's like. This house is a mess. Are you secretly gay? There's small strands of confetti everywhere. And you've been in here with your gay friends, John. Be honest with me. Okay. Yes, you'd like me to end the round. You'd like me to end the round. But we're really getting some deep truths about politics in this country.
Yeah, buddy.
Okay, at the end of that round, the points go to Romesh here, Milton. Now we play a round called Ain't No Party Like a Keith Vaz Party. This game involves Ed and Milton, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch the wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. Okay, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. And the first subject is health. Ed Campbell.
So, in the last 3 years, I've lost 6 stone in weight. Cheers. No, too late. A lot of audiences like to clap, they like to whoop, they like to cheer. You guys just went with staring, and that is absolutely fine. That's all right, that's fine. I think I might have made a mistake as well, because I'm not as happy now. I thought health would equal happiness. Turns out the happiest moments of my life were just me, sat on the sofa, in my pants, laughing through a mouthful of cake. I'm a more worried person now. I think, am I eating the right thing? Am I exercising enough? I went for a run the other day. I accidentally swallowed a fly. I had to Google how many calories is a fly. 6 per serving, if you're wondering. Weirdly now, I feel like an undercover fat person who's been secretly sent into the lair of the thin people to gather information on what those crazy villains are doing. And then I feed it back to the fat people. You got to feed it back. We eat anything. So I'm in there just going, what are these thin people up to? What's going on? Oh, interesting. That guy's got a packed lunch, but he's actually eating it at lunchtime. Well, I have never seen that before. He's not just made it in the morning and then eaten it on the bus on the way to work. And then bought chips at 1. That is intriguing resolve. Ah, they're using phrases I've never heard before. Things that only thin people say. I think I've got some biscuits. I'll just go and check. Who's living their life like that? Who buys biscuits and then forgets that they exist? That is unacceptable. I'm so deep undercover, I've met the bosses of the thin mafia. People who don't even like food that much. You go, oh, no, I'm not really a food person, you know. No, it's not. It's more of a fuel, isn't it? It helps me get through the day. If you don't like food, then what are you thinking about all of the time?
Thank you very much, Ed Campbell. That leaves us with Milton. Let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. The topic is shopping.
Tricky, isn't it, when you go to buy a toaster? And at the end, the shop assistant says, well, what about insurance? And you don't want to, but you end up taking a hostage. Recently, I bought the autobiography of Francesco Cello, the man who invented sellotape. But I couldn't find the beginning. So, lads, if you want to confuse a girl, best thing to do is buy her a pair of chocolate shoes. So I took my cases and my clothes to Tesco, because they say they help you pack your bags. Instead, everyone was just running around going, do you want some fruit and veg? Do you want some fruit and veg? Do you want some fruit? Turns out it was one of those hypermarkets. What else can I tell you about myself? I own a small zoo and a pirate ship, although not at the same time. I didn't buy that much Lego. I mean, we think of pirates as being all smiley. It turns out they're actually all Somali.
Point the air man, go to Ed Campbell. Our next round is called, if this is the answer, what is the question? On the board of 6 categories. Romesh, which category would you like?
Sport, please.
Okay, the category is sport. The answer is 264. What is the question?
Is it the number of back-to-school photos of our kids my wife posted up this morning?
Each one more delightful than the last.
I'm just like, the second one ain't even that good looking. Do you know what I mean? Just keep him secret for the good of the family name. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because you're really trailblazing in that department.
Listen, mate, that's not problem. The poor bastard looks like me. Do you know what I mean? That's what I've said to my wife. Should we have another one? I'm going, if we have a girl, the risk, I'm not willing to spin her. I'm not willing to do that. Girl that looks like an Asian Rolf Harris, absolutely not, mate.
Is it how happy is Romesh out of 1 million?
Is it what would be a rather worrying nickname for the parents of your new girlfriend to give you?
Is it how many free seats on the train does Jeremy Corbyn count as no free seats?
Is it the new retirement age in Greece?
Is it how many hours in a junior doctor's working week? Yeah, right, guys, I went there.
Is it how many dick pics I get sent every time this show goes out to air?
Sorry.
Is it the number of voters in the referendum that actually fully understood the ramifications of what they were voting for?
True that, Rob. True that.
Is it how many summers must pass before you reach the sell-by date of a pepperami?
If each member of Jedward had 132 sweets, how many people in the country remember who Jedward are?
Any of the correct answer, please?
Across the whole series, how many points am I ahead?
Because I think you'll find it is.
Does anyone have the actual correct answer?
It's how many Paralympic athletes are there in the GB team?
They're absolutely right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Go on.
265. Now, when you count that point.
I thought you just meant somebody else has just acquired a disability.
You just like, and then wheeled away. And suddenly away, a Team GB outfit. You're wheeling down. Yes, the question I was looking for was how many athletes is Team GB fielding at this year's Paralympic Games in Rio de Janeiro? 264 Paralympic athletes will represent Great Britain and Northern Ireland across 19 events. The competition starts on Wednesday and runs until the 18th of September. However, what hazards might the athletes face in Rio?
Things are very difficult for the Paralympians in Rio because there are unfinished, there are holes in the ground and there are uncovered wires and there are ramps and bridges that aren't finished. But things aren't necessarily any better for Paralympians here, you know. I'm looking forward to the British Paralympian medalists coming back to a hero's welcome and lots of media coverage, and someone from the government telling them that obviously, you know, perfectly good for work and they're having all their benefits cancelled. What's going to happen?
Are they not selling tickets either? They sort of
Well, it's felt as it's beginning to turn around now. But
it was like £2.30 for some ticket, which is
slashed the price,
is it? If you don't want to pay £2.30 to watch two geezers in a wheelchair have a sword fight, I don't know what's wrong with you. It sounds quality. I loved it when it was in London.
How do you all enjoy the Summer Olympics?
Well, it was a mixed bag, wasn't it? Because, like, I went there one day and in the morning I got mugged and hit over the head with something in double vision. In the afternoon I saw some of the best synchronised swimming.
It's immaculate, wasn't it? It really was. Yeah.
I ended up watching a lot of beach volleyball. I love the beach volleyball. not for the obvious.
Really?
Yeah, no, not for the obvious reason. The reason I love it is because after every point, whether they win or lose, whether it's good or bad, they hug each other. Everyone hugs after every single point. It's almost like they just really want to hug each other, and the sport is completely incidental.
Do you want Romesh to give you a hug when you get something right?
Why was Hiroki Ojita one of the heroes of the games?
Is this the guy that he knocked? He was pole vaulter.
He was a pole vaulter, a Japanese pole vaulter, yes.
And so he did a jump. A vault, and he sort of pretty much clears it.
He's pretty much over, yeah.
But he does knock it down, and at first you think, well, what's happened there? And then the slow motion just shows actually it was his penis that knocked the bar.
Heavy
Now,
bell.
that, by the way, is not the most vivid angle. We're not allowed to show you the most vivid angle.
Really?
Yeah, they don't give the right to think they're showing. I think they
Give us the right. Has this penis got an agent?
That is classic cock blocking.
Yeah, it is. It sounds like. You want to use my client's cock? You want to use my client's cock? You pay. You pay big for Hiroki's penis does not go on your show until you sign on the dotted line. Right? I'm gonna make this cock the biggest cock in the world. I have represented some of the biggest penises in this country.
That's a pretty victorious return home for a loser, them going, why didn't you win a gold medal? And he just went, my dick's too big.
With this thing? With this monster? Oh. In other news, who's making a surprise appearance on Strictly?
Ed Balls.
Ed Balls is. Yes, he is.
It's not a surprise.
No,
is it?
months
Because he
ago.
did announce it months ago.
I don't know why. The word was in it, I just read it. It was a bit of a fuck you, San Diego moment. Shall we do it again without that word in it? It would be fast. Yes. Speaking of Labour, who's making an appearance in the current series of Strictly?
Well, it's quite a surprise. It was Ed Balls.
Yeah. Yes, it was. Who'd have thought that? Yeah, I would. In a blue tuxedo as well. Do you know, you know who else is getting a blue tuxedo?
You.
Yes. I was buying myself a blue tuxedo recently, and I had already just paid the money for it, and then I see Ed Balls ruining blue tuxedos forever.
When would you wear a blue tuxedo?
Do you do for events in which you have to wear a tuxedo?
Isn't it all black? That's black tie events.
Yeah, the tie is still black, but the tuxedo is blue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
A lot of politicians are good at dancing, although Desmond Tutu wasn't wearing what I thought he was going to wear.
Would you do Strictly? in
No,
your blue tuxedo?
I wouldn't because I got a dodgy knee anyway, but so I couldn't do it.
I got asked to do Splash.
You got to that is a
I
lot
can see
easier.
that.
Oh God, I can't think of anything worse. To be fair, you shouldn't slag off reality shows and stuff like that because you're only ever 4 Eastern European rent boys away from doing one, aren't you?
That footage of him on Strictly was so embarrassing. I'm surprised he didn't pretend to be a washing machine salesman called Jim.
Yeah, he said it was a midlife crisis, didn't he? But looking at the state of him in that photo, I think midlife's a bit optimistic, isn't it?
In that photo, basically, that suit was actually sequined, but he breathed out, and then.
Apparently his Native American name is Dances with Difficulty.
Okay, at the end of that round, the points go to Rob Tiffany! Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics and then we'll see what our panelists can come up with. Okay, here we go. The first subject is lines you wouldn't hear in a TV detective show.
These dots, these dashes, what do they mean, Inspector? Morse?
Look, I'm sorry, Poirot, but Brexit means Brexit, so.
Welcome to Midsummer, Officer Patel.
On entering the house, we found a feline jammed into a Xerox machine. We think it was a copycat crime.
Welcome to Baker Street, madam. It seems you came from Sevenoaks via Waterloo, and you bought those shoes in Selfridges. And you are here because you fear someone is stalking you.
Sarge, I've searched all his pockets and there's no sign of the stolen butt plug.
Blood, skin, fragments of bone. Why did I order the sausages?
And according to the coroner's report, he had his head removed and a wedge of lime shoved down his neck. Sorry, that's the coroner's report.
You're arresting me for playing chess in the road? It's because I'm black, isn't it?
Oh, it's elementary, is it, you sarky prick?
I think going undercover at the strip joint is a good idea. But is it really your thing, Miss Marple?
There is some semen at the crime scene. What can I say? I love forensics.
Well, I tell you what, Watson, how about this week you solve the crime and I'll ask all the stupid fucking questions.
This week on the bill, an unlikely suspect, someone who can act.
The bloods have come back from the lab, but the Crips are held up in traffic.
I'm so sorry for your loss, Mrs. Trump. Now, firstly, can you think of anyone who didn't have a motive to do this?
These are his movements just before he was killed.
Okay, the next topic is things you didn't hear at the Olympics.
And that's a world record from Usain Bolt, 9.5 in one night.
Let's see what's happening in the velodrome. Yep, cycling.
Oh, you won a gold. Oh, well done. What in? Canoeing? Oh, get a life, mate.
I've just come out of the diving pool. Look at the colour of my legs.
Look at that masterful control of his javelin. He really is the best streaker we've had all year.
Well, this is the pommel horse, and that plaintive neigh is the horse they are pommelling.
Time for the next fight now. He floats like a butterfly, he stings like a bee. He's got a black belt, he's got 5 black belts. Okay, he's a wasp.
And if you'd like to enjoy our coverage of the dressage, we recommend MDMA.
And his penis has slapped the top of the bar. That is a straight ban from Wetherspoons.
The allegations of drug use have been strenuously denied by the new Russian Minister for Doping, Keith Vaz.
We were afraid the Chinese were going to use doping, and here she is. What a fantastic athlete. Doping!
Breaking news, Ryan Lochte has tested positive for being a twat.
And Oscar Pistorius has jumped the gun, and for that he'll only get 6 years.
Well, a nearly perfect execution there, but not quite as perfect as the one he'll receive when he returns to North Korea.
You join me live at the All Dancing. Fucking state of it.
At the end of that, the points going to run at Stuart Nutton. And that's the end of the show. This week's winners are Ramesh Ranganathan, Hugh Dennis and Milton Jones. Commiserations to Ed Gamble, Tiff Stevenson and Rob Beckett. Thanks for watching. I'm Dara Breen. Good night.